Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lady Peace, and in today's video we are going to be learning how to make this beautiful Bubu dress that has V neckline just like this. I achieved this using 3.5 yards of fabric, and you can see how beautiful it looks. If you are coming across this channel for the very first time, please do well to hit on the subscribe button and please turn on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload my next video. With that being said, let's just get right into today's video. These are the materials I'll be using to make this dress. These are my drawing materials and my scissors. I also have my chalk with me, and then I have this black lining I'll be using to line up the neck area. You can make use of the same fabric, most especially if you are making this as a ready to wear. I'll make use of the black for more clarity so that you understand everything I'll say. Right now, I also have my tape, and then I'm going to use my hot iron to first remove the label I have on the fabric, and then I'll go ahead and fold it into four. I have my fabric here, so first you need to fold it into two this way, right sides facing each other. The fabric I'm using somehow looks like Adire fabric, but this is Ankara fabric. So what I'm doing right here is folding my fabric into two, and then I'm going to measure this. Now the measurement I'm working as the full length of this dress is 56 inches. But I'm going to fold this out with 57 inches or 58 inches. So the remaining inches is going to be for the folding allowance. I have my fabric folded into four. So I'll just show you guys. On the side here, I have it here 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this other part here is folded. So this is going to serve as the back and the front by the time we are done. And then on the shoulder area here, you will notice that this part is also folded. All right. Now that we are done with that, the next thing we are going to do right now is to now get all our measurements. So we are going to be starting with the neckline. So remember, this is a deep V neckline, and it's both back and front. All right, so the deep V is for the back, and I also decided to turn the folded part to this part here, or this area here, so that you guys will see this clearly by the time I'm drafting this. All right, just for more clarity. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to get my necklines, and on the shoulder area I'll be coming in by 4 inches neck depth. All right, and then for the front neck line I'm going to come down by 8 or 9 inches. So I came down by 9 inches. I'll mark it here. Note that this 9 inches I marked was even too deep for me. So if you don't want it very deep, please, you can reduce it by 7 or 8 inches. As for the back, I'll be making use of 11 inches. Now you can see some different designs that some persons have it very long, like very deep along the back. All right, so you can decide to make it 12 or 13 inches depending on how deep you want it to be at the back. So the choice is yours, but I marked 11 inches. Even as at the time I was done, it was too open, like it was too open. I can't put it on with my bra. I hope you understand. So if you're making something like this, you need to be very careful. So I had to mark half of my shoulder measurement, and from that point I'll come in again by 12 inches for my sleeve length. So after that, for my sleeve opening, like how wide I want it to be, I'm also making use of 12 inches. And then I'm going to connect this now into a straight line. Once I'm done with this, the next thing I'm going to do right now is on the part where I marked that my sleeve opening, I'm going to now mark my round hip divided by 4. I'm using my hip because my hip is the biggest part of my body. So if your bust is the biggest part, then you will need to make use of your bust. So I marked my round hip divided by 4, and then I added 5 inches for ease because this is a Bubu dress and it has to be free. But if you don't want it very big, you can do 3 or 4 inches. But if you want it very big, you can decide to add a lot of ease to it. Now after marking that, I had to connect it to where I have that my sleeve length. All right, so from here I'll measure down to that point where I added 5 inches. I'll measure down to that point I had 16 inches. So I'm going to take this 16 inches downward, like I'll take it down to the full length of my dress. All right, and then I'm going to connect it into a straight line and then use my scissors to trace it out. On the armhole area here, I'm just going to make a curve. So you need to curve this area this way and then go ahead to cut. But before we cut, along the sleeve area, I decided to add 1.5 inch of stitching allowance, like folding allowance, because we'll need to fold the end of our sleeve. So right now I'm done with it, and I'm going to first go ahead and cut out the armhole area, cut it down to the end of the dress. Remember that this fabric is folded into four, so we are going to be cutting both the back and the front together. Now on the neck area here, you're going to first cut out the front, like the front neckline, and after cutting out your front neckline, you're going to open it up before you cut out the back. So please pay attention to this part, okay? So you're going to fold it up this way, in a way that you're going to have your back and front separately, but the neckline should look like this. I hope you understand. And then go ahead to arrange everything very well. So this is what I have here. All right, so by the time you are done with that, you are now going to trace out your shoulder area. So this is more reason why you have to iron your fabric after folding it. So because I have ironed mine, I can see where the shoulder area is. Like I have a ghetto line, so I use my chalk to just trace it out. All right, so you're going to use your chalk to also trace it out, and then use your scissors to now cut out the back neckline, which is what I've done here. Now the next thing I will do right now is to come to the shoulder area here, this point where I marked, and I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches. Please note that I'm doing this on the back neckline, so please do this to the back, your back neckline. I came down by 1.5 inches, I marked it here, and I'm going to use my scissors to notch it. Don't forget to notch that point, it is very, very important. Now that I'm done with that, I'm going to be cutting out facing that I will use to turn the neckline, and I'm using my black lining. All right, I'll fold it into two this way and then trace it out, and I'm also going to use my hot iron to iron this out. Please make sure that your iron is close to you. When you sew, also do well to iron it out. So I'm going to place it this way. The part that is folded is facing this other direction. I hope you understand. So place it this way and then use your Ankara fabric to line it up this way, like let it match. All right, the folded parts should just match this way, and then use your pin to hold it down. All right, and then I'm also going to repeat same thing on this other side. Okay, so bring it up this way, let them meet each other like this on the shoulder area. Then you're going to now go ahead and pin it down just like this. So let them meet each other just like this. I hope you understand. And then go ahead and trace it out. So once you're done, that part you notch, also notch it on your lining, and then go ahead and remove the lining piece this way. So this is my lining, and I'm just going to now curve it out. So to curve it out, I'll be coming in by 3 inches on this point, and then I'll come down by 3 inches. So I will be using 3 inches all through. All right, so I'll mark 3 inches as it goes, just like this. I'll keep doing this till it gets to the other point. All right, I'll come to this other side, I'll come down by 3 inches, and when I get here, I'll do same thing, go out by 3 inches, come down by 3 inches, and then go ahead and now connect all those last points this way. Once I'm done with this, I will now use my scissors now to trace this out. All right, so go ahead and trace it out just like this. So by the time you're done, you're going to have it looking this way. I'm going to open up the neck area of my dress. All right, so open it up this way on your cutting table. All right, you can see what I have here. I believe you guys understand everything I'm doing here. So you're now going to bring your lining and then place it on your neck area, right sides facing each other. Make sure that the part where you notch is facing the notch part on the fabric. All right, so these areas where I notch, I'm just going to make sure that all those points meet each other. All right, so take note of this and then go ahead to use your pin and pin this down. You need to pin this down, guys, before taking this to your sewing machine to stitch it down using 1/2 inch. But before you stitch, please pay attention to what I will be saying here. So I'll pin down these areas where I have my notch this way. I'll proceed to pin the rest, like pin down this neck area, the sharp point and other places here, just to make sure that this fabric stays one place while we stitch this on the sewing machine. So after that, the next thing I'll do is I'll come out by 1/2 inch on all these points and connect it into a straight line. All right, I'll do same thing to this other side. I'll come out by 1/2 inch. Now before I get to the part where I have my notch, I'm going to give 1 inch. I will just pass, like give 1 inch and then come over to this side, give away 1 inch again and continue marking. All right, so I will repeat same thing on this other side again where I have my notch. I hope you understand, like when you get to where you have your notch, give at least 1 inch. All right, and then move over to the other side, or should I say jump to this other side, give another 1 inch and continue to mark. So I'll repeat it on this part. Before I get to the notch, I'll leave 1 inch, and then after the notch, I'll leave 1 inch again and continue to mark my 1/2 inch this way. So I'll take it to my sewing machine and stitch it down. I'm not going to stitch the part where I left opened, like where I didn't mark. All right, so it has to be open. And then I have this strap here that is 2 inches for the width, and the length for this is 9 inches for both the stitching allowance. I have it folded, so I'll just stitch down those areas, like close it up and then turn it to the right side later. So guys, I have stitched down these areas here, and remember this part here is open. This is what I was trying to explain to you guys, and I hope you understand. So you're going to notch the sharp points, most especially this neck area, like where you have your V. You need to notch that point so that by the time you turn it over, it's going to relax perfectly. And then I decided to trim out some excess fabric here, so just go ahead and trim it off this way so that when you turn it over to the right side, everything will relax very well. So after trimming this off, I'm going to bring this strap here. All right, so I'll bring this strap. This is going to be placed somewhere here like this. You are going to have it looking like this by the time you are done. So what you will do right now is you're going to place it on that part where you left open. This is why I said you should leave that part open. So place it and then go ahead to pin this down. So you're going to go to your sewing machine and stitch it using 1/2 inch, then turn it over to this part. You're going to flip it inward. All right, you are doing same thing to this side, and you're going to stitch it down. By the time I was done, this is what I have. So this is it here. So I'm going to now turn this lining back to the back, like you're going to turn everything to the back area, and I'm just making some little notch so that by the time I turn it over and I iron it out, it's going to stay perfect. So I've gone ahead to turn this over to the wrong side, and I'm going to arrange everything here. Make sure you arrange it very well and then use your hot iron to iron it out. You want to iron this out in a way that your lining is not showing in front of your fabric, okay? So that way, by the time you are done ironing it out on the back area, you're going to turn it over to the right and also iron it out. I believe you understand what I'm saying. So after ironing it on the rough side, turn it over to the right side and also iron it out. So this is it here. I've turned it over to the right and I'm going to iron it out. I'll make sure I take note of the black lining because I don't want it showing in front of my neckline. All right, so you're going to make sure you iron everything straight and then turn it back to the wrong side, and I'm going to use my hemming gum to hold this down. Now if you're making this as a ready to wear or even as your own personal like outfit, please make sure to tack this because I'm not going to be stitching the lining to the fabric because I don't want the stitch or the stitches to show on the front area. So I'm going to make sure that I use my needle to tack those area so that when my client wash it or when I wash this off, it's not going to like pull out. If you don't tack it, by the time you wash it once or twice, the hemming gum will just pull out. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. So right now I'm done ironing this. I'm going to turn this right sides facing each other to close up the side. All right, so before I close up the side, on the sleeve area here, I'm going to fold the sleeve. I'll first fold in 1/2 inch and then fold it again by 1 inch and I'll stitch on it. Once I'm done stitching, I'm just going to bring it together this way. All right, so bring it together this way to close up the side. I'll just stitch with 1 inch to close up the side. So if you're adding pockets to this is the right time to add your pocket and also close up the end of your dress. After I was done, guys, this is what I have. You can see it's looking very beautiful. I have stitched down the sleeve, and for the front neckline, this is the design I have. I'm so in love with this particular dress because after I was done, this design here came out very beautiful. I also went ahead to fold the end of my dress and this is what it looks like. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe. So I had to put this on to show you guys what it looks like on me, and you can see how excited I am. Can you see that design I have on this fabric? It made it look very beautiful. So this is what the back looks like. You can see how deep it is. Just like I told you guys, you need to be careful when making this. If you love it this way, go ahead and make it deep just like so. So I hope this video is helpful. Please let me know in the comment section, and if you haven't subscribed, what are you still waiting for? Go ahead and hit on the subscribe button and please turn on your notification bell because I'm going to be posting a lot of videos here for you guys so that you will also get notified. All right, see you guys in my next